Doo-doo-doo.
Welcome, and
Nice, Dave. Welcome, Dave. Welcome. Let's check we're live. Let's double check that we're
yes,
live.
we're on, mate. I've had it. We're good to go.
I do believe you, Dave. It's just become.
You never do, mate. You always have to see it for yourself. We'll be half an hour in one day with everyone asking questions, and it'll be like, "No, we live. I'm ignoring you, Ramona."
I know, right? Definitely. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us on a lovely Tuesday afternoon. Another Tuesday tune-in. Yeah, if you've joined us, do say hello as always. Yeah, do drop a little comment, thumbs up, hello, Big 10, whatever you want to throw in the comments. Always great to see who's on. Some of our regulars, obviously Marky V. We know this is literally every week now, Mark. For the foreseeable, you are in and on. So thanks for joining us. Yeah, Lyndon, Joel, Shona, Tina, Suzette, Heather, Dave, Jim, Sital, Kim. Yeah, Ramona. Thanks for joining us, Ramona. Simon B. Bernice, Lawrence, man. Andy, Paul. Yeah, great. Loads of people on here now. It'll take me ages to go through the comments. But yeah, Dave, good to see you. What's today about?
Yeah, why not? So yeah, Tuesday again. So it comes around pretty fast, doesn't it?
It does.
But yeah, no, today. So basically, hello everybody. I'm sure you're all very happy to be seeing long lost family and friends and stuff like that. I think with some regulations being eased, at least in the UK, makes things a little bit easier for us all. Pub visit, why not? But yeah, no, it's been great, and we've been sort of talking about the journey and stuff like that. And believe it or not, every time you walk into the Evertrek offices, there's a big giant neon sign that says it's all about the journey. So we thought, what are we going to do today? It's one about, let's do it. It's all about the journey. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And not just, we talk a lot about the technical aspects of the trip, which we're going to cover off, acclimatization, altitude and stuff like that. But it's a little bit about, why go to places, like Everest Base Camp and Kilimanjaro, and, what makes them special and what makes it worthwhile and what you get out of it. If someone could pick you up in a helicopter and take you straight there and drop you to those places in an hour, it's not the same as going through the journey itself and experiencing it and stuff like that. Hey, Laura, how's it going? I miss you very much. And
hey, Laura.
So that's what we're going to talk about today, is just a little bit about why go on these trips, what type of people go on them, what type of person are you, and how to get the most out of it, and what makes them important for us all, because obviously you guys turn in every Tuesday to listen to us talk about these trips, and clearly there's something special about them, and it's not just about arriving on the summit, right?
Exactly, Dave. Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself, mate. It's certainly, there's a reason why that's there. And it's not just a bit of writing on the wall. Like, it has meaning. Especially to me. I mean, it's something I've always thought of in my life. And look, there are some cliches out there. It's not just about the destination. It's about the journey. But and I agree. Like, on all the trips we've gone on, I mean, Dave, we shared a lot of experiences together. I know some people on the live I've had the privilege of trekking with. We've had a great time. Yeah. And on those trips, it's not just about the highest point or the furthest point you are. It's about all the bits in between. And sometimes that does get forgotten, I think, when people talk about I summited Kili, or I went to Everest Base Camp. All the bits in between and the people you meet and the landscapes you travel through can get forgotten. We kind of take those for granted a little bit, when in essence they're 95% of actually the journey itself. So yeah, we thought we'd talk about that today, and some of those questions that come up around it. Like Dave said, I know we've, over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, kind of forget how long we've been doing this Tuesday tune-in now. But yeah, there's obviously a lot more technical stuff we talk about, and we like to have a bit of a balance. Yep. Although Dave would love to talk about Maindel Bhutans every Tuesday tune-in, which is great, and do his little laces, which I love, by the way, Dave. I love that. And
everyone loves the laces. I get a lot of questions about doing that lace. But I might just film it, like a little 5-second video of me
just
doing
do a demonstration. Yeah, the different ways to lace.
Yeah, exactly.
Your boots.
I'll be honest, I can't do it now because the demonstration boots that I used have been taken out and used, so they're gone now.
They had to be used, mate. They had to be used.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's we like to do a little bit of a mix of things. I mean, but rest assured, everyone, there is a kit a Tuesday Tune-In Kit episode coming along soon, where we're going to talk about all the equipment and everything you need. But that's further away. We got to get there yet. And
bingo.
Yeah,
People playing bingo again. I know we need to send off these bingo cards so everyone can play. I think that'll be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's when we bringing it back to what today's about, and why we trek and all that. It's certainly an interesting conversation. I mean, Dave, I remember I'm going to go back to the beginning a little bit now of our journey, and talk about maybe your first trek, actually, because I remember you sent me a little video. I think you had some whiskey at base camp, and obviously it was quite an emotional moment. You obviously you trekked in when was it? October 2016, I think it was.
That was it, first trip to EBC.
And I remember getting that video, and obviously I could sense there was a lot of emotion in the video, which was obviously making me emotional, because it doesn't take much for me to get really emotional.
Well, you grew up with 7 sisters, Anne, didn't you? So you've got 7 sisters, so it doesn't take much. But
it doesn't take much.
It takes a lot to crack this old walnut mind. And
I know.
Yeah, it was funny, because like everybody, I used to have like a dream of going to places like this, and a dream to summit Everest and visit Nepal and do all of these things. But it was one of those things that lived in the back of my mind but never really happened, because I never really made it happen. Because, to be honest, it's strange, isn't it? It's like, I knew about Bitcoin, 10 years ago, but did I buy one? No. Should I have? Yes. And I knew about base camp and Everest and all of this stuff, but did I do it? No. And then one day, should explain, me and Andy used to work together in a bank. A long time ago. That's how we met. And then, as happens, I left, and then Andy left, and then I didn't really see or speak to him for about 2 years. And then one day I just saw that this guy I used to work with was at Everest Base Camp, and I was like, "Whoa, hang on a minute!" I really wanted to go, and I was so amazed. And we've actually got the message saved where I sent him a message on Facebook, just commented on a post or and just saying, "Oh, hey mate, can you let me know when you're back? I want to talk to you about this." And that was the beginning of my journey. But when I reached base camp, I realized that actually it was so much more. Like, I was so focused on, I want to get to base camp. I want to get to base camp. Get into base camp was all it was. And weirdly, it sort of hit me all in one sort of thing. When I got to base camp, I realized, and that's when I did the video for Andy, that actually it's not just about getting to base camp. Base camp is a convenient X on a map that gave me an excuse to trek for 11 days with some of the best people in the world through, one of the best countries in the world. And, and ever since then, it's been one of those sort of things where I've been like, when everyone says, "What if I slow the group down?" Don't worry, it'll make the trip better. The longer you spend walking through that environment, the better you'll be, and all of and that has so much of an impact on everybody's trip.
Exactly. I'm sorry, Dave. I've been sidetracked a little bit. I'm just just reading through the comments, and Ramona. I suppose we'll definitely have to talk about it now. But yeah, she wants to get married with Gaz on the way to EBC in October 2022.
I thought that was a secret. I was sworn to secrecy.
Well, it's not now.
Yeah.
Well, look, firstly, Ramona, congratulations, mate. Awesome that you and Gaz getting married. And yeah, obviously we'd love to. We've over the last few years, we've actually done a couple of weddings. We had a couple from Northern Ireland, actually. We facilitated and organised the wedding at Everest or Everest Base Camp, and on the way, doing the ceremonies and stuff. That Ramona will have a catch up, and we'll definitely get that sorted for you. I know, obviously privileged to be able to do that for you guys. We've been lucky. I think was it Dave? You joked before about that we should start a dating app. Was it Ever Tinder or something like that?
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, but
because of all the people that get together on our trips, it's quite interesting.
I'm pretty sure there's been an engagement on one of our trips. I think they met on a training weekend.
They met on a training weekend.
I've been on the trip and got engaged, and now I think they want to. Is that? Yeah. So crazy. I mean, I like I said, that's what it's about. That's part of the journey as well, is meeting people, and who knows, you might meet your future wife, you might meet a friend or something like that. I've got friends who I met on that first trip in Nepal who I still keep in touch with to this day. One of them, which is another story, has been on hell of a journey. But yeah, if you ever meet me in private, ask me about that one, and I'll talk to you about
Is
it.
that Chile?
That's the Chilean guy. Yeah,
Okay.
awesome guy,
Yeah,
Felipe. Really nice guy, but he went on a bit of a
bit of a
crazy
sidetrack.
adventure. Yeah. So yeah, if you ever meet me on a training weekend, ask me about my friend Felipe, and I'll tell you all about him.
Good old Felipe.
Yeah.
Everest Split. Oh my God, there's some great names coming up here. But honestly, Ramona, great, and look, nice to see some wonderful comments coming through. Take the knee. We should mention knees today because Dave can't mention knee, can we?
Yeah. So I mean, yes, as long as no one's waiting for me to get down on bended knee, like that's what happened. But yeah, no. Oh, I see. Paul Dewhurst. How's the knee? How's it going, Paul? Yeah, I tracked with
Hey,
Paul.
Paul.
And his wife. We did the training weekend together. Man, we've like I never would have dreamt that he'd still be waiting to go to EBC thanks to COVID. But no, the knee's doing all right. Physio tomorrow, first one, which is part of my what they call prehab. To get the knee as working as well as possible before the operation on the 15th of June. So on the 15th of June, I'll be having the operation, and then hopefully I'll be on the mend.
Just reading some questions. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading.
I was like,
sorry, I'd stalled there. No, I was reading John's question. John Adams, who's jumped in. I was just reading his question. I'll come back to it in a minute, John.
Yeah.
Our Lauren is on the comments. So yeah, we'll go through the questions. But Dave, we talked about, okay, we'll go back to the journey for a minute, and also as well that obviously the journey is different for everyone. But we talked about kind of what type of trekker are you, right? In terms of how your journey can be. Should we go a bit more into that? I know we've talked about maybe someone you can get, maybe, we call them mavericks, but someone that's likes to speed, a speed demon, maybe we'll call them.
Yeah.
The person that likes to go off into the distance, and our altitude that can be an issue. As if you've been on any of these lives before, speed is you need to slow down at altitude. But Dave, what was it you said before about obviously the mavericks, the speed demons, and what can hold them back?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've been on trips before where you've had people who are, super competitive, super fit, and treat EBC or Kili or something like that as a challenge. And it is a challenge, but it depends. There's more than one type of challenge, and they treat it as a physical challenge. Like testing their body to the maximum and seeing if they can get there, which is all well and good. And I'm not against challenges like that whatsoever, but I don't really feel that it's the essence of what we do. Because if you want to do that, there's an Everest marathon. There's a marathon in Tanzania. There's lots of stuff that you can do like that. But I do think that you miss out on a lot of the other aspects of what you get from a trip. So by, treating every hill, like I want to get from A to B as fast as possible, I want to get up the hill as fast as possible, you kind of forget to stop, turn around and look where you've come from. And some of the best views on any trip that we go on is when you turn around and face away from the hill and look back over sort of where you've come from. So one of the great ones is, when you're going up through Tengboche Hill, you have a tendency just to have your face to the ground because it's very steep and you want to get up to Tengboche. But actually, there's loads of points on that trip where if you turn around and look out through the trees, you can see some amazing sights. The Dudekose River going down, the Hillary Bridge. You can look back to where Namche is. It's amazing. And it's moments like that I remember, like getting to the top of the hill first is fleeting, but the experience on the way up will last forever. So make that bit last for as long as possible.
And it's the people you meet on the way, isn't it? Because I remember that, those moments happen all the time. I mean, I think an email I sent a couple of weeks ago about the gentleman who was on the mountain in his shorts. And there was me, all my winter gear on, it'd be like an epic day. And this guy's just, hey, running around. And he was clearly on a different journey to me. But, it was actually quite nice to see that and have that perspective and go, okay, this is cool. You meet loads of different types of people and different people almost perceive different challenges in different ways. And I think certainly for that guy, maybe a lesson for him as well. I mean, everyone's obviously going on their own journey, but I think maybe that guy didn't see some of the things that I had seen that day because I've been taking my time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know on a base camp trip, or if you're on Machu Picchu and you've got all the historic stuff that you want to actually take your time and drink it in and go and see these things, there's no point rushing around that. Go and enjoy yourself and learn a bit about the environment you're in, because it kind of magnifies the enjoyment of it, I think.
Yeah.
When you're in a place. And I think it'd be a travesty, if you're rushing through these places and you don't get to stop and chat and meet and have a coffee or whatever you want to do. And
Yeah.
it's the same when you go, like you mentioned, Tengboche there, and I love going to the monastery and just experiencing the energy there. Not to get too woo-woo now, but just going there, and it does change. It's quite relaxing.
Yeah.
Going and listening to the monks and their chanting, and obviously living their lives, and it's almost a privilege to be there. And but if you'd legged it past because you've got a target to get to, you're not going to see that. You're not going to experience that.
But
Just
also,
take your time. Poorly.
Tengboche, would it be as magnificent if it wasn't so hard to get to? It's like part of getting there, part of any experience, I think, is the pain and the suffering. And I think, if you even simple it down to, people have been running marathons for a long time, right? Yeah. But if you could just wake up in the morning, put your boots on and run a marathon, sure, that's an achievement. But if you start as a couch potato and you run 1K, 3K, 5K, 10K, and you're out there for a year training and sweating and working through pain and injuries and all sorts of stuff, and then you cross that finish line, those are the ones that burst into tears. Those are the ones that sort of have a complete sort of emotional tidal wave of emotions coming out of them when they and it's because of the journey they've gone through to get there. So that's what I try and tell people whenever they come up and they're worried that they'll slow the group down, or they're worried that they're not fit enough or stuff like that, or even some people who I've spoken to who did the trip and maybe turned back from low boucher, my father being one of them. And I always try and remind them that okay, sure, maybe disappointing that you didn't get to Everest Base Camp, at least on your first attempt, but honestly, is that the trip a write-off? No, not at all. You've trekked for all that time through the Himalayas. You've seen Everest. The best view of Everest is not from base camp. You can't see it. It's from several days prior,
isn't it?
So you've done these amazing things. You've achieved these amazing things, and that's what's great about these types of trips and why adventure travel is better than a holiday, because you can go on a holiday, experience everything, and it can still be rubbish, but even just by arriving on an adventure travel trip, you've already achieved so much, and even if you went home right away, you're going to feel like punching the air.
I love that, Dave. I love that. You're so right, aren't you? You can, I mean, we're all adults, we get to choose our own holidays or wherever we go, but you're right, it's a good point in terms of certain places you go. So it's not just about the kind of the destination, but everything that happens in between. It doesn't matter then what happens, is it? Because you have such an awesome time anyway, hanging out with the people you're there. That's what makes it special. Obviously, I mean, we're talking from us here now. We love getting to Everest Base Camp. We love getting to Summit Achille. That it's an amazing achievement. You feel amazing when you get to these places. And we're not setting you up to fail here. We're just, it's always good to talk about these things, I think, just so you're aware of it. And we don't want to feel like we're teaching anyone to suck eggs here. You're all probably thinking a similar thing. But I know that we've certainly been with some people who haven't done that, and they realize that, and it's not until they get back home and they sit down and they take their shoes off and they're like, whew, and they have a think about it, and they're like, man, that was awesome. I really miss that place now. Get me back on another trip, when you see that, and it's like, okay, come again. But it's a really special sort of thing when you're away and on the journey. And look, we can't wait to start these journeys again. And we're going to try and obviously navigate the challenges that come our way over the next few months. We're certainly, sort of going off topic now and bringing it back to kind of trip stuff. Certainly trying to do some trips more close to home, if you like, as much as we can, because obviously we're limited at the moment in terms of where we're allowed to go. Obviously training weekends, we can't wait in the summer. They're going ahead. We've also got I know Dave, you had a chat with Steve up in North Wales last week. Had some really good news from there, and we can't wait to release that trip.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little North Wales sort of sort of 4-day trek-in trip up there. So the guy that Steve, he's an amazing mountaineer.
Yeah.
We did all of our training with him, crampons, ice axe, winter training skills, navigation, stuff like that. He really does live and breathe this stuff. And he's organizing a trip for us up in Snowdonia, where you're going to arrive. It's going to be 4 days with the group. And yeah, we've got a date for that. It's going to be up and bookable very, very soon. And that's a great little trip, because we realize that COVID is one of those, it's tough, and it doesn't stay down, and it pops up when you least expect it and changes things. And so, we totally appreciate that people, they still want to get out to the mountains, and we always say, we want to plan for when we can, and at the moment we can, so we're making a plan, Stan. But yeah, John has just said as well, Tengboche is his favorite coffee shop in the world. True, mine too.
It is good. I remember that, John. Great coffee, wasn't it? I love that journey.
It's funny, isn't it? We go all the way to the Himalaya, and you want to rough it, and you want to be like Edmund Hillary. But I'll be honest, I do love a latte and some carrot cake. So,
Shona's asked actually about Scotland. Yeah, we've got some because we're trying to do the a trip up in Scotland as well, aren't we, Dave? I know we've looked at. Yeah, we're trying to work out the itinerary, Shona, because we have the winter skills, but now that's not possible. We're trying to make it sort of a little bit different. We've been speaking to Steve about it. Yeah, we'll definitely let you know once that's live as well. Obviously, we don't want to kind of dilute what we are, and what we do is high altitude trekking. But whilst we can, we can't go to places like Island Peak for Mick, Soldier Again Island Peaking, Everest Base Camp, Killy at the moment, Annapurna circuit, which doesn't get the press it deserves. 100%, Mark. That's a good reason sometimes though, because it's a lot quieter, mate. Whilst we can't go all the way over there, we can try and have some fun and enjoy some trekking and enjoy the journeys together and get to know everyone. It'd be lovely to meet some of you on our training weekends and some of these trips as well. The benefit being that, excuse me, if they are local, we might be able to pop and see you guys, which would be great. Obviously, the training weekends, but some of the other weekends as well and trips will be able to come on, which will be fantastic. But sorry, Dave. Right, should we get stuck into questions? I know we've had a few before and few that come in, Dave.
So Rob Smith has emailed in. We'll start with the emails. With the recent Welsh Government advice regarding international travel and their request not to go, how likely is it that EBC treks will be taking place in 2021? So the Welsh Government, although yes, they have come out and said when international travel is possible, specifically they're referring right there to the green list countries, so the ones we are allowed to travel to, and they've put in almost a polite request to everyone in Wales to not take up the opportunity and go traveling. That's one of those things that I think everyone needs to make their own personal judgment on. And I believe he's made that for what seems like legitimate reasons, but not a political conversation. With regard to the EBC trips, that's a different kettle of fish. So Nepal is currently on the red list of countries, so it's not possible anyway, right now, today. Whether or not they go ahead in the autumn, so September, October, November, early December, in full transparency, is probably 50-50 at this stage. It all depends how Nepal responds to what's happening in India. And now, obviously, what happens in India will always affect Nepal. And it's how Nepal handles that situation, how the vaccine rollout continues and stuff like that. So there's so many different factors. Again, we're back in that hole. We don't have a crystal ball. It's relatively uncertain. One thing I can say is that we'll find out, hopefully, before anyone. We have such a good team over there that are being well looked after and well taken care of. Much of that is to do with you guys buying those jackets and the jackets for guides. Because of that, people are able to stay in their homes in Kathmandu because their rent is paid. They're able to go to their villages because they've been able to get all the food and supplies they need. So our team are there and ready and waiting. We just need the restrictions, with regards to red and amber lists to come down, and we need Nepal to be involved in that. So it's uncertain, but we will let you know as soon as we know.
Yeah, nice, Dave. Yeah, it is a challenge, guys, and and I know Rob, you obviously talked about the Welsh Government, and I know that obviously in Wales, Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, obviously other countries as well, can have different rules, and we're always refer back to those and FCO guidance. from the UK government, essentially. But yeah, so as Dave said, we want to get back on these trips as soon as everyone else. It's typical that like nearly all the places that we're running trips at the moment outside the UK are on the red list, which isn't great. But as soon as they they go down, they go, because unfortunately, if the government are advising against anything but essential travel, then we can't run those trips. Because it isn't essential. Although we'd love to, and it's essential for all of us, I know, inside, then we've still got to do the right thing. You've only got to look at the Everest summit season, and there's a lot of opinions going around, and I was so glad that we weren't at base camp in the last month or so with what's been going on in Nepal. And I know there's a lot of companies that have been slated a little bit for actually running Everest expeditions, and then others who have made the right decision not to do it for safety reasons and other reasons. And we're happy to share our opinion. I mean, we're kind of glad, and we're not there. And we almost think that they should have prioritized other things rather than that. But different story. But we always like to make sure we're doing the right thing when it comes to these trips, and that's the way we will come from. That's the angle we'll come from. Yeah. But with that in mind, obviously, guys, we want to get running these trips as soon as anyone else. But it's been a long time, isn't it? It feels weird for us because all this happened in March last year, and now we're almost mid-May 2021. And it's like, wow, it's mad.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right?
Who'd have guessed it? I've seen enough zombie movies to know how these pandemics usually unfold. And I was still optimistic. But, I think that, like you said, we're comfortable with our decision. That not going ahead with the season was the right thing to do. I wouldn't want any Evertrekkers to be out there right now, experiencing that and being over there for something that can be postponed and done safely at another time. There is a great urgency and there isn't, we all want to go hiking and trekking and travel in these places, but not to the detriment of your safety, their safety, and contributing to all of that. So, it is what it is, I guess. But we're happy with our decision.
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we always have to value, although it's adventure travel, and there's an element of danger in all adventure travel, and you can't get around that. And that's why it's great. We have to temper that with the regulations and things that are in. And obviously we're restricted in terms of where we can run trips. But obviously if it's, if people are advising against unnecessary travel, then we can't run those trips. But I mean, obviously I can see some comments on the back of our comments, and it's certainly like Jerome, obviously October is the target, and it's certainly like Dave said, the autumn is 50-50 at the moment, just for full transparency. It's not something that'll change, although our rules in the UK might change at a drop of a hat. It's Nepal itself, and we know it doesn't just take a week to go away. It does take longer than that, and I don't want to fill everyone with negativity here. Like, let's all keep positive about it. But I think you've just got to accept, and anyone that's got a trip in the autumn right now, accept that it could be impacted. And if you want to reschedule, don't forget, guys, you can do that for free with us. And look at trips if you want to bump into next year, or wait and see. I know a lot of people are choosing to wait and see, which is fine, and we're cool with that. Wait and see, and if there's any changes, then great, we can go ahead and we'll run the trips, guys. But we always want to let you know how we feel, and that is that it's very challenging to say yes, 100% and go ahead. So I hope that helps a little bit. I know, like, I'm someone that likes it down the middle, and if you tell me okay, yes or no, but unfortunately we can't do that at the moment. We hope that our transparency is coming through in the right way. But obviously any extra questions, guys, obviously just drop us a message and we can chat with it privately.
Awesome. Joel has said, big welcome to Rosie. We haven't mentioned Rosie yet. So the Evertrek team has grown again. So Rosie has now joined us. Yeti Hapis.
Yes.
I should be able to at least pronounce the Welsh words correctly.
Call yourself Welsh.
Exactly. So those that caught the email would have seen that as well. So thank you, Joel. But a random one, Andy, do you see any wild animals up near base camp? Do many dogs make it up there with the guides who I guess regularly do the trip?
Yeah, I mean, other than the odd Yeti or two, you do see some
Yeah,
wild animals. Yeah, you do get some dogs, and some of the dogs actually, because you've lost them, they're all wild essentially. Is that they'll follow you up from like 2 or 3 days, and some of them stick with you, and then they become part of your group, which is quite cool. Some of the local families do keep dogs that kind of come and do say hello. You can see other animals, like there are snow leopards in the Himalayas. Like I've not seen any in you can trek there every year for 20 years and not see them,
yeah,
but they are there. And they're probably watching you, but you don't know. But obviously they're quite far off because they don't like people.
yes,
You've also got the Musk Deer. So you see some deer, and they got like these little fangs, if you like. It's quite unusual looking. So you might spot them clambering up some rocks. Other than that, it's pretty safe. It's just
yeah,
the
just
biggest
black
one, the
widows, funnel
black
webs,
widows.
black mambas, that sort of thing. I've seen a spider up there one time, tiny
Really?
one. Yeah, I saw a little ground squirrel on my way to base camp in the rocks. Um, and eagles. Don't forget the eagles. Yeah, you might get some
Mm.
eagles.
Oh, the eagles, yeah, are amazing, aren't they? I remember we were up. I think it's Nangatsang Peak near Dingboche, and it's basically part of your acclimatization hike. So if you go into Island Peak or the Everest Base Camp or the Khumbu Valley,
Yeah,
you go to Dingboche. Whether you go up to Shukung and Island Peak, or whether you go up to after that, you go up to Lobuche and Everest Base Camp, you'll see this place. And because of the vantage point, climbing up to Nangatsang Peak or the plateau, even just the plateau, which is only about 300-400 meters above Dingboche, the eagles there are amazing.
yeah,
Especially you've got Amadablam on your left, you've got Cholatse Mountain on your right, and you've got the Khumbu Valley that goes up, and you've got the valley which you've just walked up. It's amazing vantage point.
yeah. Awesome.
Eagles. Yeah, not quite Hotel California, Jerome, but yeah, it's quite nice there, mate.
Yeah,
Dingboche is fantastic. One of my favorite places, actually, Dingboche, and they've got there's the bakery there that's fantastic. I know John said about Tengboche being his favorite coffee shop. I actually like the one in Dingboche. It's quite nice.
yeah.
And they
They're
all
all
show
German
Everest.
bakeries. Yeah,
Yeah, the German bakery, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Moving on, Mark Van
Yes.
Rossum, Marky V has said, "Why does the Annapurna circuit not get the press it deserves?"
Ah,
To be
good
honest,
question.
it's because it doesn't have Everest. So it doesn't
Yeah.
have the you'd be amazed, like never underestimate the draw of the biggest mountain on Earth. That's it's massive. I mean, the draw and the mountain. But yeah, so like that's exactly why. All the other regions in Nepal don't tend to get the spotlight as much. However, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because when you do want to, perhaps go a little bit off the beaten path and explore an area a little quieter. I mean, Annapurna still is quite busy. It's by no means dead, but it doesn't draw as many people as EBC. So it does, it kind of works for you as well. But yeah, that's exactly why. It's just because it doesn't have. I mean, Annapurna is the most deadly mountain, Annapurna 1, in terms of the amount of people that reach the summit versus how many people die trying. So it's not. They call K2 the killer mountain, but it's actually Annapurna 1 that causes the most
Yeah.
trouble.
The
Um,
avalanches, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah.
avalanches and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty dangerous. But having said that, it's a very beautiful area. It's very stunning, and almost a good thing that just Marky B said nothing beats Yak Donald's in Lukla.
I just saw that. I thought that
Yeah,
brilliant. Mate, after almost 2 weeks in the mountains, those Yak Donald's burgers are lovely.
yeah,
That's for sure. Yeah, obviously, if you're into that thing. But yeah, you're right about Annapurna. I think it just certainly adds to it because it's not as popular.
yeah,
But certainly, like I've read articles, like Everest versus Annapurna Base Camp. Which one? Or even going like the Three Peaks, Three Passes route we do in the Everest region versus the Annapurna circuit. They're both similar challenges, but they're I'd say different, very similar. But as Dave said there, it's really because it's got Everest in it. In the Everest region, it's more popular.
yeah,
People love it, don't they? We go back to what we're talking at the beginning there, because of that big X on the map there. That's why people go there. Whereas if you really wanted to just go for the journey, then Annapurna region is beautiful.
yeah,
And very different. Like some people say it because the Everest region, the Khumbu Valley, is quite wide, so it's quite like this. If it makes like a big bowl, so you can see as you're going up. Whereas Annapurna is quite steep, why they get so many avalanches. So you're looking up at the mountains all the time. They look like these big behemoths, just towering above you. That's kind of the main visual difference with Annapurna compared to Everest region.
Yeah.
But yeah, good question, Mark. Yeah, I know you've been to Everest region already and Annapurna, so yeah, it'd be good to hear your thoughts after that, mate.
Yeah, awesome. I can see Diane's a little bit concerned about sort of, nasty animals, poisonous things on the Kilimanjaro trek. To be honest, I saw monkeys in the trees. I saw some birds, some ravens, and that was it. Didn't see anything else. Mosquitoes, actually. So your biggest worry, like those types of concerns, tiny stuff like us or an ant. Yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah.
But malaria is your biggest worry. So take anti-malarials. They're the mosquitoes are really the only danger that you're going to be facing.
Yeah.
I suppose if you got out the car on a safari, you could potentially come into some trouble. But yeah, on the actual trek itself, generally the high altitude regions of the world, they don't really have a lot of animals and stuff. It's just not much food up there, and it's just harder to live up there than it is lower down. So yeah, you'll see monkeys at the beginning and the end of the trek. You'll see, and then after that, just birds pretty much is all you'll see.
Yeah, you've got the monkeys, haven't you? You've got someone mentioned mice then running under the tent, and yeah, people bailed. Wow. Yeah, well, little buggers, eh? But yeah, I try to think ants you sometimes get. Yeah, that's quite barren as you go up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the mozzies are probably the number one, I'd say, just to keep off you. But yeah, anti-malarials, 100% for when you're in Tanzania. Definitely speak to Nomad Health Clinics if you're going to Kili. We always recommend them. But yeah, if you go into Tanzania, anti-malarials, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Doug Smith, how's it going, Spud? Said one of the group stung by an ant. Saw plenty of monkeys and heard a jackal in one of the camps at night. That wasn't a jackal, mate. That was Tam snoring. So yeah, but yeah, I should say that we went Kilimanjaro together in February. But yeah. Let's have a little look. See,
just going
questions.
Through. I saw John's question, and it's off topic, but I'll answer it.
Yeah.
He's asking. He wanted to ask me directly, not trekking related. He has a friend who's starting his first business. A little apprehensive because of the leap into the unknown from previously working in a stable environment. What advice would you give him, or reassure him it is the right thing to do? Yeah, I think anyone that's venturing off from a secure job and going out there and wanting to go on their own and do their business. Yeah, it can be scary, and it is. Going back a number of years now. But I think, if you've got the determination and the motivation to want to succeed, then you can, 100%. And, I know it's scary, and, just make sure that you're accountable to yourself, because a lot of people kind of say, hey, I'm my own boss now, which is great. But then no one sort of holds your feet to the fire to get things done. So being your own boss can sometimes not be the best, because you think you can get away with having relaxing time and this time, but nothing ever gets done. And if you want to really move your business forward, then you need to make sure that you put the work in. That's for sure. And I suppose if I was going to say anything motivational, like anything, and obviously we go back to all about the journey, is that you only get one life. So yeah, if that's what you want to do, and you want to give it a go, and you want to go for it and improve your life and grow as a person, accept the challenges, then you've got one life. Make the choice, do it. You've only got one, so make the most of it.
Yep.
That goes to everyone. So yeah, John, awesome. Pass that on.
Awesome.
Hope that helps.
Yeah, that's I couldn't agree more. Diane has asked, do you both take anti-malarials for Kili then? Did we both take them? Yes, have to. I mean, I suppose you can't force anyone to, but I would say it's a huge, massive, unnecessary risk to go to Tanzania and not take anti-malarials. I mean, two famous people, was it Cheryl Cole and Ross Kemp? I think both had malaria from going to Tanzania. So the region which you'll be going to, there is malaria. It is a little bit of it is the dangerous kind, it can be very deadly. So yeah, just 100% take malarials as prescribed for the right length of time. Don't cheat on them. Don't short. Don't miss any, because it's nothing to mess around with.
Yeah, exactly. It's only a tablet a day, isn't it? It's not too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Heather Newman asked, "Do we do divorces?" Yeah, we can do.
Yeah,
Not
certainly.
legally, but we can do the divorce party.
We could, yeah, we could certainly perhaps cause one or two. If you keep booking on trips without telling your partner, maybe that might. Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Yeah, Heather, 100%, mate, and to recover from it, certainly anytime. But yeah, brilliant. Loving that. Right, let's have a look. Just going through some of the questions, Dave. Can you see any more questions? I mean, guys, obviously as we're going through here, any questions, by the way, do fire them into the comments just so we can answer. Coming through now, we've got a couple left, but just before we kind of finish, any questions around anything specifically, drop it around, even if it's Julie, even if it's around Disneyland. Go into your favorite place instead. Hey, I've never been to Disneyland, but it's always been on my bucket list. Because life's all about balance, and I can do the hard trekking, I can do the hard walking, I can do the climbing, and then if I want a bit of a relax, I can go to Disneyland. Always wanted to go. I'm hoping the next couple of years to go.
Yeah,
that's on my bucket list.
Oh, I did it. I've been to both, and
all right, sure.
I say both. There's more. I went 2 weeks in Florida. I mean, yeah, at the beginning I was slagging off normal holidays and stuff like that, but gotta love Disneyland, mate. It was one of the best holidays ever. In fact, I went with John. So me and John back in 2005 went there. It was a great holiday. But I don't talk about it now unless it's brought up. I talk about EBC all the time. So having a look. So just to touch on malaria as well, just I suppose, there's some topic in there. Yeah. So Dave Remington there's talked about avoid larium. I'm not sure about larium. They give it to, I want to say this isn't advice. This is me thinking out loud. I think they give it to pregnant women because I think it's safer than the other kinds. But some people have got PTSD. Some people have dived out windows. Yeah. It makes you go crazy. But yeah, I've taken both doxycycline and Malarone. Doxycycline and Malarone. I found Malarone to be so much easier. The first time I took doxy, I did because I like the idea of taking something because it's an antibiotic that if I had anything else, like I picked up any other type of bacterial infection, I'm already taking antibiotics. So it seemed to be a double whammy. However, you've got to take it for like a week before you go, for the whole time you're in Tanzania, and then for a month afterwards. So, and if you don't take it, obviously it's a risk. So taking antibiotics for a whole month after you come back is a bit too much. Malarone, super easy, 1 pill a day. So I think it's for about 2 or 3 days before you go, the whole time you're there, and then a week after you come back. And literally the only side effect I got from that, and it wasn't a negative one, was I used to take my pill in the morning, and if I forgot, which I did once, and took it in the night before I went to bed, which is when I next remembered, you get like the craziest dreams ever. Not bad dreams, it's just really realistic. So you wake up, don't you, and it's like you've been in Lord of the Rings or something all night. But yeah, other than that, Malarone was super easy.
Yeah, Malarone's great. It's I had similar sort of crazy Lord of the Rings dreams, like some epic movie that happens during the night, which was quite cool actually on a trip. So whilst you're sleeping, and all that. But yeah, so I think over the last sort of 6-7 months, we mentioned it a couple of times, and I think some people said why, because of the obviously people who are more scientific and qualified to talk about it. But yeah, for me, they give us crazy dreams, but I take them again, 100%. Yeah. Good old Malarone. Joel Palmer's asked about what jabs do we need for EBC? Yeah, I know we've covered it a few times. Yeah, about 100 times, Joel. Thought you'd write it down by now. But yeah, with jabs for EBC. So the main ones that you need, you've got the diphtheria, typhoid, tetanus. Those ones you have every 10 years. You have boosters. They're the kind of basic requirement, I would say. Then you've got kind of the optional ones. So rabies is one that's been mentioned on the comments today. That's one that we certainly, some people want to have that, some people don't. It's an optional one. I know Dave, you've had yours.
Everything.
I only had my one.
I'm a pincushion.
You've had a few, haven't you? There's obviously the hepatitis as well, which is especially more valuable to people who are traveling a lot, in terms of the blood disease and things like that. So yeah, definitely check it out. I would highly recommend, I think it's called fit for travel.nhs. is a really good website to look at for the particular country. So if you go to Google and type in sort of vaccinations for Nepal, it'll come up and it'll have the full list there. Yeah, look at that, mate. Or jump on to Nomad and book yourself a consultation, and they'll be able to sort of suggest, and you can get your if you need anti-malarials for anything or anything else, diarrhea kits,
Brad Pitt kit,
as we call it. Yeah, it's certainly getting involved with them guys. So I hope that helps there.
Yeah.
Joel?
Any side effects, Joel, from all of those? Yeah, you will have a sore arm. but yeah, I don't think there's any side effects from the main
Not
ones
big
I've
ones,
had.
no.
I've
Not
had
really.
everything, like all the hepatitis, right the way through the alphabet with those. Meningitis, all of the normal ones. Yeah, anything I have. COVID, and then it says another question here. So Marky V, okay, must have a kit question in their best waterproof jacket.
Brilliant.
Let's get back to it, Marky. To be honest, it's an awkward one, the waterproof jackets, because you can spend 500 quid on mountain equipment. Is it the mountain equipment Lotse? You've got loads of stuff like that. Yeah. Personally, at the moment I'm using the Rab Firewall, which is probably a good mid-range jacket. I have to reproof it every now and again, but it's a good mid-range one. I think anything sort of Gore-Tex Pro is going to be pretty good. I have heard really good stuff. I own a Paramo jacket, but it's a windstopper, not a waterproof. I've heard really good stuff about the Paramo. What I really like about the idea of Paramo is that it's not a hard shell, it's a soft shell. So when you've got the hood up and stuff, it doesn't feel like you're being like, it's like deafening sometimes and all the crackling and zips. So it's a very quiet jacket. So I think, have a look at Paramo. Also, the mountain guide we talked about earlier, Steve, that does our trips in North Wales, swears by Paramo.
He loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And he says that his favorite environment is cold, wet, and windy. So, I would take his word any day. So, check Paramo out. I'm on a bit of a Paramo up at the minute. I might change, but try Paramo.
Try it out, I think I'm with Dave. Like, obviously, the mountain equipment, Lotse is number one, really, I would say, historically. Rab Firewall, mid-range. You've got the Berghaus Extreme range. I've got an Extreme 8000. I don't think they make it anymore. I'm not sure. It had a lot high price range, a lot of features, and Gore-Tex Pro, but for some reason didn't go down that well with people. I mean, I've got it. It's typical, actually, but I wonder why. I do wear my Firewall just because it's because I got Extreme 8000 and I've got a Firewall. I always wear the Firewall, and that's even in proper rain. Whereas the other one is a bit bomb-proof, but it's noisy. It's quite. You feel like you're wearing. It's a weird jacket, but the Lotse is amazing. I've seen so many people wear that over the last sort of 10, 15 years. Since they started making it anyway, different variants of it. But the Paramo one, I've never really, obviously I understand the technology, but I've always preferred the other type of jackets, Gore-Tex Pro to Paramo material. But Dave, I know you obviously it's still undecided yet. It's kind of like the difference between an Apple phone and a Huawei or something, is it? And
exactly.
The pros and cons.
I think I'm going to buy one, but I can't really go hiking at the moment, so it seems like a waste of money. So I'm going to wait until the knees get, and I'll get a Paramo. Waterproof jackets are one of those where, to be honest, it's a little bit like trial and error trying to find out what works, because as many people that love one jacket, there's another like tribe over here that like another type and slag it off. So I think the most important thing really is get a good jacket. It's one of those things I won't buy cheap because I've bought cheap before and it just doesn't work. So I buy an expensive, relatively expensive waterproof jacket, and then it's about the care you take of it, which is probably more important. You can buy a £500 Gore-Tex jacket, and if you don't look after it, it'll be you may as well just put a colander on your head and try and stay dry. It's not going to work. So it's about reproofing it. If it gets completely soaked on a walk, you want to go home and you want to reproof it. So pretty much every time it gets drenched through, I reproof my jackets, and then I say that's a bit of a lie. I aim to, not every time do I actually do it, but the better you look after them and the more reproofing you do and stuff like that, the longer they'll last and the more waterproof they'd be. The test is at the end of a walk, if water is still beading on the jacket, then it's going to be waterproof. When it comes and it's a completely different color because it's soaked through, you need to reproof it. You want the bead-in effect, really.
It's mad though. I've seen that like dozens of times, and sometimes when it just rains and rains and rains, like I've been on a walk and it's like 8 hours and it's raining the whole time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're wearing, really,
No.
you're gonna get wet. You know,
Yeah.
they're not fully. They'll let moisture through. I mean, there's really good ratings. I think Shona's put a really good link there. Thanks for sharing that, Shona, from Snow and Rock. Where you get waterproof ratings and breathability, because the more waterproofed it is, it's not as breathable. So that's where Gore-Tex Pro has that bit of balance. That's why I quite like it for me, because if I sweat and everything, and it kind of wicks that away from your body, as well as keeping the moisture from coming in. But it's about finding that balance. And like if you wear like a Mac, one of those, you're wearing a Mac and it feels amazing because it's keeping the water off. But you do any hiking and that, you're sweating, you don't feel good at all.
That's my problem.
And it's not healthy, and that's where chafe. You get like really bad sores under your arms, especially after hours and hours. And you'll find the balance. And obviously, there's if there's any jackets, guys, that you've tried and you feel like you want to share it with the team, want to share it with the community, let us know, because obviously we'll push it out and say, this has been tested.
Yeah.
We'd love to test all the jackets, but we've got a few. Maybe we need to speak to some of the outdoor brands and say, hey, we want to test some of these products. Maybe that's an idea, Dave, and we'll
exactly.
test.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm getting sick of mentioning the Maindels, and I haven't had a free beer in the post yet. But yeah, it is that exactly. One of the little tips I do as well, if it is raining, I will pack a spare base layer in my bag.
Yeah.
And quite often, although it does mean kind of like stripping off really quickly, I don't do it if I'm going to get hypothermia. But most of the time, if I'm just wet, sometimes like halfway through the day, like taking it off and putting on a dry one on just feels great. It just uplifts your spirits. It's like having a snack, it does the same thing. Someone's asked here, Tracy Swift said, what do you find the best product is for reproofing? I use the Nick Wax stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So you'll get a dual pack. I bought it on Amazon, I think. One of them is like an instant one, which you just kind of like apply to the jacket, and another one you kind of wash your jacket with it. But yeah, those are really good. When it comes to boots and proofing boots, I tend to go with the manufacturer's own stuff. That can be Nick Wax, or with the Maindels, I've bought the Maindel stuff. So I've got a spray and a dub-in type wax that I put on the Maindels. And you'll notice the difference, because I remember I hadn't treated mine and they were like this dusty light brown.
I do remember. It was like different boots, right?
Yeah, and Andy puts his next to my boots, and his were like this deep, rich brown. The deep, rich brown is a sign of a healthy boot. My dried out old ones were they were in desperate need of it. But yeah.
I think worth doing a bit of research as well, a bit of Googling. There's especially with Nick Wax, because there's a wash, so you can wash your jacket, just every now and again, and then they got a spray, and the spray is great because you've got to let it soak into the jacket and let it sort of dry, and then that's what gives it that kind of that nice little beading. So you notice if you ever drop water on it, it kind of beads off, flows off, and then that okay, cool, this is working now.
Yeah.
If you want to test that in the house just before you go out on a decent rain, do that. I'm a bit old school sometimes. I treat it, leave it, I forget about it. And then I realize that I'm out, and I'm like, oh, it's not beading. But you kind of deal with it. And sometimes you're going to get wet, and that's, it's all about the journey, isn't it? If you get wet or dry, it's still a journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Dave, any more questions before we finish up? I know we've covered a lot.
We got one last one, because we're going about an hour, which is Stephen Hall's thinking of holding out till around spring next year before buying any kit for his October 2022 EBC trek. Hopefully that'll be a good time. To be honest, not a bad time. Whatever time of year you're kind of buying, if you're buying in spring, you'll get older winter stuff for cheaper. If you're buying in winter, you'll get warm weather stuff for cheaper.
Yeah.
So I kind of weirdly, I try and buy, like, if I'm buying a winter jacket, I might try and buy it in the summer and get like the year before, stuff like that. But don't forget that you do get 15% off of Cotswold Outdoors as well. So if you are planning on getting some stuff, it's always worth a check with those guys and stuff like that. They're pretty good as well for boots. If you want to go in there and have like a lacing up demonstration or a fit in or something like that, then those guys are pretty good.
Yeah, no, they are. They're great. Especially now as things open up a bit in the UK, you can actually go on and try some boots and things like that, which is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, this is weird. Trying on boots, yeah, you gotta, so different now. yeah, so I think we're going to try and do, if we can, I know we've been talking a while, going to get in touch with Cotswold and see if we can do a bit of a show and tell in one of their stores. Maybe we'll do one of the Tuesday tune-in. We've been working on, now it's open, we might be able to get permission to do that. So yeah, we'll let you guys know if we could do one of those and talk about specific jackets and things. That'd be great, I think. Really valuable to see. But Dave, yeah, been great. Any final thoughts before we finish?
No, that's it. Yeah, just whatever journey you're on, make sure that you enjoy it and experience it. Because you don't know what you're missing until you stop, turn around, and take a look. And that'll be the memory that you take back with you. So yeah, that's about it from me.
You should write that down, put it on a wall, mate. That's great.
Yeah, well, I got another thing to go on the wall as well, and you got me a little gift, didn't you? Yep. So I'll go here. So there we go. So this is a little birthday gift that Andy got me that I thought I'd have to share, which is me and Andy as Simpsons characters. So yeah, taken from an actual photo on one of our trips, and transported into Simpsons characters. So yeah, that's going up on the wall, and if you see the little space next to Kumbu the koala, it's going on there. It's going sort of there. So yeah, that's it.
Love it. Nice, Dave. Well, mate, it's I know you like your quirky art and stuff like that. So yeah, but
yeah, exactly,
mate. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Great stuff. All right. Well, look, great to see you all, guys. Great to see all the usuals on and some new people as well. Obviously, anything else, drop us a message. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Take care.
Adios.